Good day. In this video I am going to attempt building a extra battery for the DAS system called also v.1. It's the Oculus Quest virtual headset, and this is the HTC Vive's Deluxe Audio Strap that is bolted onto the Quest with 3D printed modules. So what I am attempting to do will be a battery pack addition. That is not going to be just something you slap or glue on here. There are some packs that sit here. There are some packs that are kind of well, taped or attached some other ways onto this one, and then they are dangling down here. What I will attempt to do is add a battery pack into this opening, and I am going to do this because I have a lot of salvaged battery 18650 batteries anyway, in two versions. So most of you have seen 18650 cells. They are called 18650 because they are roughly 18 millimeters in diameter and 65 millimeters in length. So I have a lot of these. I want to use these. These are the ones that are usually inside your default eBay, AliExpress battery packs, also just many in a row. So I also have double ones. They are just spot welded together. This is how they usually are inside laptop battery pack. There are like 3 rows of these, and this makes up a battery pack. So I am planning to use making a system that can take either one or a dual one and bolt behind here and look like this, or a single one like this, and then you should be able to switch them on while using and put them into the charger and have endless battery life like this. So the parts that I'm going to use, let's say this is the battery, and what we need is a battery socket. I bought it locally. You can buy these on eBay, AliExpress, wherever, for 5 or less money. And then we need, well, now this, when it's full, it's 4.2, and it quickly drops to 3.7, and when it's empty it is about, let's say, 3 or something like that. It's not recommended to let it go much lower. Now, because we need to protect it from going lower than it's recommended, we need also a protective element. This is like, they also sell these types of batteries with protective element on top already, but this will then not fit into a standard socket, and most of us maybe don't have, and it's much easier to source these high powered ones that don't have the protective element. You can buy these on several sites. I can link an EU site that is reputable and doesn't sell any fake ones. So in case you're looking for a source, maybe people are interested. Now these, like I said, produces mostly 3.7 volts, but the USB input here, this on here, this needs 5 volts, so we need something that will increase this voltage up to 5 volts. Here there are many step up converters. This is one that I happen to have in my drawer. Here is the mark of it. Come on, can you focus? You can find these for like $1 or less. These doesn't cost really anything, but these are adjustable. Here is the screw that I adjusted to the right place. So you need to know several things to make this mod. Like you input, this is the voltage in that you will feed the battery voltage into here, and you will take it out of here. But you need to measure it before sending it into the Oculus Quest. Well, only once. When you set it then to the 5 volts, you can glue it together with a hot glue like I did, so it doesn't move anymore, and it will always be 5 volts. Even if this battery drops lower, this will always be 5 volts out. Now, these 3 pieces should make up what we need. What we also need is well, the USB cable. So I bought a USB cable. This is some goobay or something, whatever the brand name is. Goobay, I think. It's quite fat, and their specs said it's 5 gigabyte cable. We don't use data, so whatever. But this is the 90 degrees one, and we can put it in here and then make it run here, so it will be nice and clean. I'm probably going to extend this out to maximum. And measure the, oh, this looks weird. And measure the distance when it's max out. So it's going to, if I'm pulling it back together, it will bulge up. It will have a little extra room, but this shouldn't hinder using it in any way. So this is the 4th part of our build. Okay, USB cable, battery, converter, protection, example battery. Now what I did was, I'm going to cut to the, I remove the inside. So inside here you can see there are 2 screws into the spinny thing. Must be careful not to make it fall apart, but I am hoping I can use these locations by making something very thin, so the screws are not all the way screwed in, but have some little playroom. We'll see if it works out or we need to do something about it. So next step was to, well, measure the plate for the battery holder, and I did it with some paper. Here is the paper that I came up with, and I should remove this. Yeah, I think this is better. So this paper I was drawing and measuring, and got something like this. So here you can see the bottom screw hole and the top screw holes, and I'm hoping to make something that goes like this into here and 2 screws up here, holding it in place. So after that I made a little 3D model, attempted to print it because I was not sure, because it's going to not be straight but in a bend, that it's very hard to measure out how far those screw holes need to be exactly. Anyway, I just threw it at the printer, what I modeled, but the printer filament broke, so it only made 1 layer, and it happened to be very, because of it, because the print didn't print out correctly, it became very bendy. So anyway, with the bendy version, I was able to easily check the screw locations that I kind of put down to dry. Everything is black. Oh, this is so bad idea. Anyway, the screw locations didn't really fit, and I had to well, make some changes. And then I did another print, and here I also added some greases into the bending spots. And what the goal is that you print it out and you heat it a little bit, and you will just bend these 2 flaps to make it as you need it. And back here we are going to mount the battery socket. So this is my new version, and I have not yet tested it for the screw holes, but what I can see is that down here this is too wide and it's blocking these slits where the material goes into. It has those 2 pins that must go into these slots. So I need to cut these down and test how the screw holes will hold. So I'll stop it here, I'll do the test and continue with the next clip then. after testing things out, the screw from down here was too short. It couldn't go through the 1 millimeter of plastic and grab onto the socket, so I stole a longer screw from here, and this shorter one was able to grab onto the screw inside. So these here are longer ones and this one is a short one, so I took the longer one from here and put it here, and the short one here went here, so you know where you can salvage a more fitting screw. So it seems to be holding on well. I didn't screw in both of these. I'm not sure. I will try later. I must be careful with unscrewing both, I guess. Not sure if something gets loose. Now it seems to be holding on well and is a solid ground for our battery. Now I'm still wondering if I should move it down lower, because well, up here we have this and we don't want anything, if possible we don't want things interfering while we adjust it. So as low as we can get it, it's better for clearance, and it's also better for the balance, because we want weight to be as low as possible. So right now I could fit it here. I should pull the camera further away. I can fit it here, but this will, well, maybe it should be better if it's down here, so a few millimeters lower. And for that I should make a revision to the model, and this revision should move this hole a little bit up, and these have like 3 more millimeters of room to slide down. So maybe I'll just move this hole up, and this will be on the final model you can get. I will also make these cuts in here so they don't interfere with the holes for our cushion. Now, but this is all secondary. Let's try mounting the socket. The socket has, for mounting these, two funny clips here. They are the expandable type. You need very tight holes for these ones to be clipping on. Also we need to solder the protection element here, and then we need to mount the step up somewhere, and then all the wiring. update. Let's pull these together. Now update. I actually 3mm screw holes worked perfectly. These clips are 3.5mm, so you can these snapped in quite satisfactorily. Well, you know that word. So, and they are holding on very nicely. I don't need any glue here. It also had a little plastic tip in the corner. I just melted plastic a little bit and pushed it in. Doesn't hold, it just, I think it's for orientation, so you know which way is the plus and minus, because the other side doesn't have it. Also, this reminds me, I didn't watch which way is okay, this one is marked plus. They are equal. This is just and I mean they are equal in design, but this is for reference, so after you, when you build your electronics, that which one you make positive and negative. Now let's test this. Okay, let's see. This is how we wear it, and the positive side is this way. So right now it's looking like this. So it will be, that's and you couldn't put it more inside. If anyone wonders, if you put it more inside, it will interfere with your head. After this, oh, this is the one cell version. Wonder how hard is it to take the cell out. It holds on pretty well. It might be a good idea to snip one side down to make it a little bit easier, but not too easy. So the double cell use case I was talking about, it looked like this, but this is sticking out too much, but these can be turned down, so it would be looking like this, and these cells can be bought up to 3500 milliamp hours, and thank you Google, and double ones would be then 7000 milliamp hours. The Quest itself has something around 5, and the battery strap has something around 4, I think. So this would be already more than the battery strap that the Oculus itself offers. And you could have these on the shelf and swap it out. You cannot do this with Oculus own battery strap. Okay, to the testing, and then next step will be mounting the protection circuit. Now a little update. I took the protection circuit, and this was wired like if you buy similar one, the short one goes to the negative side. It's meant to be on top of like this end, so you can make a cell, protected cell. But this is not what we are doing. We are making the socket protected. So the short one goes to the negative lead, the long one goes to the positive lead. I soldered them to these two spots. You can make it neater or whatever. I'm just prototyping here. And now this flat side will be our negative output that will go into voltage in negative here, and this will be our positive output. It will go to the positive output, positive in for the step up converter. Now if the battery voltage drops too down, this will kick in and stop sending power to the negative side, so the Quest stops charging by the outside battery and will switch over to the internal one, and then you will see the internal battery dropping, I believe. Next step will be mounting this. I am not yet sure how and where, probably somewhere around here. Well, we can, if anybody finds a better DC to DC converter that gives out 5 volts and takes in 3 to 4, that is smaller, that is capable of doing 2 amps, that the Oculus probably needs, not to drain the internal battery, or else it will be there are very tiny ones. I have some very tiny ones around here too, but they are like this big, but they are capable of putting out 500 milliamps, and this will not be enough, so it must use also the internal battery. That's why we can't use the very tiny ones, because then the external battery will only extend the internal battery life, but you can't endlessly play on it, because this itself can't power the Quest if it's too weak of a power converter. Now let me mount this, and we will think about making it neater some other tomorrow. Now I soldered this step-up converter onto here. I have tested the output voltage. It's more precisely tuned to 5 volts now. The next step is for me probably the hardest step, is cutting the USB cable and making sure which wires to connect and so on. So probably for start we'll do it with some excess, and then we should test the output on something else before putting it on the Quest. So we're fairly fat wire, and then I have to check some wiring into the USB-C, Type-C wires. Probably there are 2 fatter ones that will be plus and minus, I hope, and that will be it. And then there's a bunch of data cables that I don't need. So next up, cable cutting and measuring out. And now it is time to make the test. We have soldered on the test leads. I will cut it shorter after testing now, and I will probably move this to another location, because I now realize that if I put the battery in, I can't flip it down because this thing is in the way. So I probably will extend this lead a bit and shorten this one and make it sit on the side here. Yeah, So plus and minus, let's put it in the right way. And for testing we shall use not Oculus, let's use a shaving unit. If it charges, this light blinks. Right now it doesn't. Okay, what's happening? I think something is off with this. Sometimes needs. Let's try now. And it's blinking. So I now have 5V out from this pack. Let's try it on the Oculus. There we. This light will indicate if it's working. Let's put it. Oh no, don't. Oh, my hand is activating it. And it's showing charging LED. It's yellow. I'm not sure if you see yellow or white. It's yellow. Let's try it the other way, the correct way. Isn't USB-C wondrous? Can go both ways. Yep, it's yellow. So it's charging. I should probably test how fast it's charging it though. Like right now it's in the pieces. I can probably measure how much energy is going out. But for that I should use some battery. Well, anyway, we have now confirmation that this is working and we can assemble it to the more final setup. So this will include me moving this from here to here. I will check if I can actually maybe move this to this side, or is it too long? We'll see. It's kind of rough looking right now, but this isn't some market product, so I can probably mask things and make it look a little bit neater. Okay, to the assembly now. Now the prototype is assembled and working. You can see it is charging, and here is well, I need to show you some picture here because my camera is too close, but from the inside it doesn't protrude, and the wire is running around here into the socket. It has a little bit slack because if you make it bigger then it must not pull on the system. So this is how it looks like, and also this is with the 2 cells, like second. With the 2 cells that can be pushed down like this, but you can also use just 1 cell, and then it's looking like this. With 2 cells you can possibly add 7000 milliamp hours, and you can change them on the fly. And with 1 cell it is also charging and reached full capacity. And this is it for the Quest battery modification video. If you want to follow along, then go ahead, and if you have any questions, ask them down below. I was thinking about maybe there was some similar cheap Chinese third-party head strap with similar slot behind here and tightening from the knob. I might, well, I don't have the headset, but I was thinking that maybe something similar can be fit onto that one. So then the price would be well under Oculus battery headset, but I don't have this other headset. So if somebody wants to send me the, or I don't know, resources for buying all the parts, then I am happy to try it, but not going to spend my own resources on that one right now, because, well, I have what I need. So that's it. Thank you for watching, and until the next video.